Hey, rock movers. I cannot wait to introduce you to season 4's guest. Today's guest is my sweet, dear friend, Snow Gross. Snow is an alignment coach, and you could say that she's more like an energetic chiropractor, as she prefers to call herself. She specializes in gene key and human design, and also does inner child work. Once you meet her, you're going to understand completely why this is exactly what she's meant to do, because she guides impact-driven women back to their higher self, where they get in touch with their own purpose, truth, and power, so they can then uplift others around them and serve other people from a sustained fulfillment overflow. You're absolutely going to fall in love with Snow. She lives in California with her husband. She homeschools 2 toddlers, and her life's motto is 1 foot in humanity and 1 foot in divinity. Without any more delay, my friend, Snow Gross. Snow Gross, I am so excited to have you on my podcast, The Rock Movers. So I get to introduce you and all of your amazingness to my world. So welcome, welcome, welcome officially to the show.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here and talking to you.
Oh my gosh, I just feel so privileged, and I'm so excited because we just recently met in a mastermind, and y'all, this woman is like, she may look like this really mild, sweet mom, but this woman is like a firecracker, y'all. Oh my gosh. So the theme of my podcast is about moving the rocks in our bags. So as we go along in life, we have this baggage that we carry, and oftentimes we put in rocks that belong to other people. They really don't belong to us. They don't serve us, but for whatever reason, we feel compelled to carry them. We start doing that as young children and young adults, and by the time we get into our 30s, 40s, and 50s, that baggage is so heavy. And what I learned is that we get to choose the things that we carry going forward. And in this mastermind that you and I are both in with all of these amazing women, you have really stood out to me as the one person who truly represents, other than Shoshana, our leader, but the one person who truly represents someone that is just standing in the line for everybody, helping them move their rocks. And you do it so powerfully and so beautifully and so generously with your time and your heart. And it just comes from such a beautiful place. I just want to recognize you for that first off, because I want everyone to know, just even personally for me, how impactful you've been, how wonderful and sweet and kind and receptive you have been. So thank you for that first off. Before we get started, I want to publicly thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your kind words. It is nothing like being recognized, not just for what I bring to the table, but for what we are here to do together. Because I truly know that I myself cannot change the world by myself. I have 2 young toddlers. I cannot protect them for the rest of their lives. So if we say my selfish take from all of this is, I want to uplift everybody around me. I want to love everybody around me so hard, to bring compassion and light into your life, so hard to remind how genius and powerful everybody around me. Then in some way, I am building a new world for my children, so that they can grow up in a world with more love, with more caring and inclusion, compassion. Then there's all my work will be worth it. And of course, I know the ripple effect would be much bigger than that.
Right.
But that's kind of how I started from this whole coaching business.
I love that. So so Snow is also a coach, and you call yourself an alignment coach. And for many coaches, they're like, I get that. But for those that aren't familiar, share with us what that means to you, or what that means to your clients and the people who are looking for people like you to help them.
Absolutely. It's a great question. Great place to start. Yes, I call myself an alignment coach. I also call myself the energetic chiropractor. Because what
Love that.
happens,
And did you
yes,
say chiropractor or chiropractor?
chiropractor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Energetic chiropractor. So you're getting
I'm
people
a
into alignment. Put a
yes,
I love that. Okay.
yes, right? So
Yeah.
when we have neck pain or shoulder pain, we
Mhm.
don't just take pound on painkillers because we know something is going on. And usually there's misalignment.
Right.
There's something choked up, blocked up,
Mhm.
resistance in your body. And that's what I do is I work on the energetic level to remove that blockage, to remove
Mhm.
that choked up energy, in your language, the rock. And you described it so beautifully. We picked up these rocks and we carried them. Energetic world is we have this rock in our field. And
Right.
I go in and I resist that, remove it from love and care, because that's the only way to get rid of these resistance, by unconditionally love it and understand it. Therefore, you are all natural, the energy is naturally flowing in out of your system, now
Mhm.
manifests into physical manifestation. No more procrastination, no more self-worth issue, no more feeling shamed for promoting my offer, no more problem of consistently showing up for my business because you have a message and a heart to share with the world.
Yeah.
So I do that through gene key, human design, inner child work, shadow work. And that's exactly what I do, is to remove all that resistance, because the core, the nature of who we are is pure light, is pure love, is
Yes.
pureness. It's just, there's no division and a limitation. It's pure liberation. But we experience limitations because of this resistance in our field, in our system, energetically. That's the root cause of a limiting belief. Energy resistance is the root
Mhm.
cause of your physical behavior. I've had
Mhm.
clients who come in and they get sick each time before a launch. They just physically get sick. They couldn't do the launch. It's not, yeah, it's part of the immune system, but there's something working behind the curtains that's
Right. That's
preventing them. Exactly.
yes, yeah, that's triggering that immune system response. The immune
Mm-hmm.
system is just the manifestation or the physical response to what's going on energetically in our body.
Exactly and
Mhm.
precisely. So I
Yeah.
don't work on the surfacey level of how can we create a structure so I can show up daily to talk about my business. Of course, you can do the action and behavior change, but at the root cause, it's always a energetic story first, and that is where
Yeah.
I go, and that's where
I
I help
love
people
that.
with.
I love that. So you primarily work with other coaches to help them really heal at the core, at the root, so that they can then manifest and show up
Mm-hmm.
100% in their fullness.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I do work with a lot of coaches. I work with light workers. I have clients who are hair stylists. I
Mhm.
have clients who are homeschool moms. I'm one myself. People who really have a strong stance, people who
Yeah.
really have a strong belief in what they stand for, in what they want to bring to the world. And usually that's a change. Usually that's
Mm.
a uplifting effect and impact into the world, into the people they interact with, into the
Yeah.
next generation. Whatever context they do this light work, that is who I work with. So a lot of coaches and also non-coaches, but definitely light workers.
I love that. So for those that aren't familiar with light workers, Snow just gave it a great kind of a simplistic understanding of just people who are bringing light into the world, who are trying to make a transformation from darkness. And I feel like it's a term that we're hearing now, but not everybody's familiar with it. And sometimes if you haven't been um, open to this world of conversation and the acronyms and things that we use these days in this coaching world, in this realm, there's a lot of things that feel very, I call them woo woo. And before my coaching journey, it felt very much like coaching, and the woo woo was like these people in yoga pants sitting around in circles, kumbaya, right? Like it didn't have any, I didn't have an understanding of it, and I didn't understand how it could impact me. And then I went through my coaching journey, and it's like once you go through a certain level of awakening or understanding of what really is going on, who you are as a human, as an energetic being, as a spirit, because we have all of that, then it just begins to open up other doors to other things. And I believe that one of the things that I'm just so passionate about is bringing the woo and the wisdom together for those who are in business, because you can't operate a business with one leg, right? You have to be this solid, stable, whole being. And that means that you have to embrace all of your sides. So yes, you have a physical body, and yes, you have your internal organs, but beyond that, you have a spirit. And so we have to be able to understand all of those parts of us to wholly and fully go into everything that we're asked to do. And I see, and tell me if this is what you see, that the greatest people with the greatest amount of disconnect, the greatest amount of struggle, are those who are denying or resisting that internal part of them, that spiritual part of them, that holistic whole part that's just broken or shattered within. They're either resisting it, it's been just hurt so much that they are afraid to go there, which is where I believe you can be so impactful with your shadow work.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right about bringing both the spiritual part and your beautiful mind and knowledge and brain work into your business in order to have the full force behind you to achieve what you desire to achieve. And I love that mission so much, because when we promote this kind of message into the world, we are giving not only confidence to women in workforce, as well as fulfillment for these women. Now, the ripple effect, I just want to take a second and talk about not only what this particular woman will get for herself, but when she is so fulfilled, she knows she's on the right path. She knows who she is. She loves herself. She loves her work. And she brings that radiance and glow and light and power, wisdom, her knowledge into the workspace. That makes such an impact into the world, and it will touch people in ways that you can't possibly comprehend and you can't even possibly imagine. So that is absolutely a beautiful way to look at business and to talk about people who are currently struggling, people who don't feel this blue light that we're talking about. I don't blame these people, absolutely not at all, because I was so there. I was so there.
Same.
My whole life, I was seeking my purpose. What is my purpose? Because I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel lovable. I was told my whole life there was something wrong with me. So I thought if I had found magically a bigger purpose, then maybe that will make me lovable again. Then someone might look at me and would accept me for exactly who I am, versus I had to be all different versions for different people. I had to be the nice daughter. I have to be the humble ones. I have to put myself back, my needs back as, the Asian woman that I was raised to be. And I don't blame you if anybody feels that way. And what I want to say is, I have a rescue dog and I love my dog so much. And my dog went through so much to the point that he couldn't trust another human being except for me and my husband. So I want to say it's very reasonable if you feel like I don't have trust in myself, in other people. I don't have hope
Mm,
in myself and other people. It is absolutely understandable. You have every single reason to feel that way, given what has happened to you, given what you have experienced in the past. Validation has to come first, 100%. We're not running away from, because it's so uncomfortable to deal with. Most people just
right,
run away. We
right.
have to face it with complete, utterly validation at the same time, knowing that you are not just this. And even for me, I have been on this self-healing journey for 10 plus years now. There are still part of me who feels powerless. I
Mm,
still go to this place of despair. And I have come to a point where I accept I might carry these parts of me for the rest of my life. And I'm still committed to myself, to loving myself, to
I love
continue
that.
to understand myself, to bring more love and unconditional acceptance. That even it's possible that I might never rid of these dark thoughts. I still feel revengeful sometimes. I still feel anger a lot. I still feel the injustice
Right.
because we're all
Because
in
you're
this
still
collective world.
human.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and
So
again, there's so much work to do. Yeah.
I appreciate and I love that you brought that up because oftentimes because now we have social media and it's so prevalent in our lives, we see little bits and pieces of other people's lives, their moments, and we think that that's the culmination of their life, right? We see their great moments, their things that they're willing to share. And it's oftentimes very discouraging when you live with all of your mess and all of your things, and you only see other people's great moments, that you compare yourself and feel that you fall up, you come short, that you fall back and don't measure up. So I love that you shared that no matter how far you've come and how advanced you've been, or all the things that you've learned and acquired, you're still human. And I'm still human. And I still have days where I would rather not see another human and just
Mm-hmm.
stay in bed and feel sorry for myself. I have those days, we have those moments. And I think the difference is now we have the tools and the resources to move from those moments. So it's not that those moments don't happen. We just know how to transition out of them, how to
Mm-hmm.
empower ourselves and empower others. And so in those moments, what I do, and tell me if maybe this is yours too, you allow yourself to just feel those things, because denying them doesn't make them
Absolutely.
go away. But we can
Absolutely.
we can feel those things and move forward. We can feel those things and move on. We can feel those things and still make a difference, and still be able to process and understand that there's a reason that came up, and then we can seek the lesson. So much like my rock moving mantra of, this is heavy, I don't want to carry this, this doesn't suit me. The anger and the resentment and those feelings don't suit me. What is the lesson I get to learn? What do I get to choose here? And
Mm.
so with your
What
journey and all of the things that you get to do with your kids and with your coaching, what do you feel like has been most impactful for you personally?
is to choose to be with that discomfort when every single cell in my body doesn't want to.
Now, why is that so impactful? Tell me about that, because I think I know what you mean, but I'd love to hear it from you.
Yes, I would love to expand a little bit more on that. Now, and that's in regards to all relationships between
Mm-hmm.
me and me, between me and my kids, between me and my husband, between
Mm-hmm.
me and a very demanding client,
Yeah.
between me and some very annoying representative at Stripe who closed down my account for no reason. It's just,
Oh
it
my
takes
gosh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it takes it everywhere. Now, when I grew up, and most of us adults can understand this, we weren't 100% accepted. We were molded into what's being acceptable for the
Mm-hmm.
society.
Right.
Now, let's understand that is what our parents knew the most. at that time. They did their best. They gave their all. The society's whole standard, it was completely different. Now, where we are now, when I had a moment that I want to blame the representative at the strike, that moment, it feels so delicious to just blame the other person because it's your fault. If you didn't do this, then I would feel so much better right now. You caused this pain that I'm currently feeling right now. And that sounds so good. And every single cell in my body wants to go there. Then I don't have to feel this discomfort in my body right now.
Right.
But that is you giving your power away. Now the other person has the say to control how you feel, to control the trajectory of this event. The powerful thing, the most brave thing is to come back to yourself, And the other day, I was just seeing another woman having this huge success, and she shared it on her Instagram. Now, I'm very aware, I don't know what's going on behind the doors for her. I know, I don't know, I don't see her. I already know all of this. I'm very aware of this. Still in that moment, I was triggered. I was jealous. When is going to be my turn? Why she get to have this, not me? I'm doing just as much. I am just as wise. I'm saying just the same thing on my content. And then our mind goes into stories. She must have connections. She must have this. She must have the stuff I don't have.
Oh,
Therefore,
so good. Yes.
I couldn't have done anything better to change the situation. Therefore, of course, I can have the success she has. Justification, right?
Right.
And the hard thing, that route sounds so delicious. Like I want to go there, but to catch myself and say, what's going on, Snow? What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling not matching up? Are you feeling unworthy? Are you feeling confused? What did she do that I didn't get to? What is it? Are you feeling all these things inside of me? And to come back to myself and get to know myself, you know what that does is, first of all, we all have these different parts in us who feels these ways, different ways. And if we push them away and to just look at other people, these parts don't go away. They still feel that way. But when we listen to them, we build the trust within us. So the jealousy part of me will be the jealousy part of me, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether I acknowledge it or not. She feels jealous. But when I talk to her, she knows I got her. Every time she comes out, she feels jealous. She has me. She has my attention, my undivided attention, and I don't judge her. I don't say you shouldn't feel this way. And I can guarantee you, if my parents are here and they will say, you shouldn't feel this way. You shouldn't feel jealous that your friend got the thing that you didn't have. We all heard this growing up, right? So we tend to take our parents' dialogue within us and we internalize that dialogue within us. I shouldn't feel this way. I'm a spiritual teacher. This is not very spiritual for me to feel jealous. And you better not let other people see this aspect of you, Snow. You better not talk about this on a podcast. But for me, what we do is we bring conscious into the unconscious. We bring love into the pain, into the jealousy, into that I will never get there. I'm not good enough. But to hold ourselves, I got you. No matter what, whether we get the money, whether we get the fault, whatever, no matter what, I got you. You have me forever and always, because I'm committed to you, because I love you that much forever. That just soothed this whole charge of I'm not measuring up for immensely. I just soothed that. And now from there,
bring tears to my eyes, because that's
absolutely.
It's just so beautiful.
It uncovers, and she gets to open up with me, and she gets to say, I never felt I was ever good enough for my parents. And I've always searched for that approval to make my parents proud. And they had high standards. So it always felt impossible to have them to look at me and say, my daughter is the best in the world. But I never got that from my parents. But now I know that. Now who got me now? Myself. I got me now. I got you now, Snow. I got you. And that is the level of love that I have never experienced. But that's okay, because that showed me what I didn't get to have, so that now I can give it to myself.
Yeah.
Is for people who have experienced darkness, depression, you experience it because now you know what it's like when you don't have the exact thing that you want so much, which is love and compassion and unconditional acceptance. Then let's do the work.
Yeah.
Let's give ourselves that. Now, when I say give ourselves that unconditional acceptance, it doesn't mean that you become this hyper independent woman. I don't ever need anybody because I got myself. What it means is you be the gatekeeper of your joy. Say, I need community. I need another sister who can carry me when I fall into a million pieces. Then I am going to put myself in a mastermind where other people can see me at my ugliest time, can remind me of the truth of who I am, which is love and wisdom and strength, even I didn't feel like it. Then I'm going to get myself the resources of that. I can get that from other people, but I'm going to go get it now because I'm the gatekeeper of my own inner fulfillment and peace now.
Wow. I love that what you just said, you get to be the gatekeeper of your own joy. So for people who, because I work with a lot of women who have imposter syndrome and that lack of confidence and self-worth, and over and over again, there is this internal missing puzzle piece of ever feeling like they were fill in the blank enough, right? Good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, whatever, enough for someone in their life that has made them feel that lack, that sense of lack. And so going back and saying, I got you, me, I'm the only one that's ever going to always be with me. And I'm not going to abandon me. And I'm going to be the gatekeeper of my joy, my heart, my peace, my prosperity. I'm going to be responsible. And that no one else needs to make that happen. Can I be happy with other people? 1,000%. But it's my responsibility to ensure that I have my needs met. And giving myself permission to go seek that is so powerful. And Jess, I love that you shared that. That's just so, so good, Snow. Thank you for sharing that. And I feel like, sometimes we sit in this little island by ourselves thinking we're the only one going through this, and we're not. So everything you just shared, like it's like we were living twin lives. I can so relate to all of that. And I know there's so many other women out there and men that can relate to this. It's not just a female issue. It's a human issue. It's a human challenge of just having those disconnects as children, because we're forming everything that we know, all of the rules of our life, and setting those boundaries. And well-meaning adults say things, and as children we take them at full face value. And why couldn't you do this? Okay, well, there's something wrong with me because I couldn't do that. My story is adoption. So being adopted, there's something wrong with me. Now I get to choose to see that my birth mom did everything she could to ensure that I had the best life, the best opportunities. I get to choose to see that, and I get to be that gatekeeper. I love that saying. I am going to recycle that one. That's a great one.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that a lot of the times this self-help spiritual world can look very much, we're all love and light. I am going to get joy and peace. But what I really want everybody to understand, that could be the scariest journey for a person to go on, is to give myself the permission to feel good. Why? Because all my life I felt bad. And I am familiar with that.
Right.
I spent so much, the first 3 decades of my life in this dark place. I'm familiar with it. I can anticipate what comes. I can handle it. now you want me to get out of this dark cave and go out to light. That is such a stretch. I don't know if that's unknown. I don't know if I can trust that. I don't know if I can survive in that. I don't know if I get my hopes up, am I going to be crushed when other people don't give me what I want, right? So we have this wound with what we never got. And it's the bravest thing for us to give us the permission to just explore, to even say, hey, maybe, just maybe, I don't know if I can trust another person ever again, but maybe I can start with this one person. Maybe I can trust her a little bit. Maybe I'm no longer playing the mental chess of asking myself 300 times, what did she mean when she said that 5 hours ago when we were having coffee, right? We were, yeah, she said that. Was she mocking me? We play all, because we're so familiar with that. We got to protect ourselves. We're back into this survival driven, almost like an animal instinct, which there's nothing wrong with. We have to survive first. And the biggest challenge for people who have spent so long in the survival mode is actually to relax. It's actually to trust. It's actually to open their heart for the first time ever, possibly. So I want to say, this is not a small task. What you choose to do for yourself, at times it could feel dangerous. Even though we're going towards love, it could still feel dangerous. But you have to choose, because you deserve better, because you had to go explore it. Even though we get heartbroken, we get re-traumatized. There is this actual thing called re-traumatize ourselves. Then at least you get to say, I have tried for me. I have tried for me. I have no regrets. I might have failed so many times, but I have no regrets now because I have done everything I could for myself. And with that, I can sleep with myself at night.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Oh my gosh, everything you said just hits right in the heart. Hits so true. And I know it will speak to so many of the women and the people that are following, my listeners. So if you could just speak to one more thing, something that you wish I would have asked you, something that I haven't shared, or that you haven't shared yet, that I haven't asked, what would that be? What would you want those listening to hear, to know?
The first thing that came up, the voice that came up in my head is, this is an ongoing journey. So many times we thought when we get to one point, that will solve all my problems. If I've ever just found the perfect boyfriend and get married, then I will feel like secure forever. Yeah. You don't, ladies. You don't. If I ever just have kids, then that would definitely secure my marriage. You don't. When we expect an outside world to give us something that's a void in us, it's never sustainable. It can give you that dopamine hit in the moment to make you feel relaxed that you got what you want. But the real work happens internally and it never stops. Why? Because we are ever evolving, growing, expanding species that we always want to experiment and explore and stretch and expand.
Yes.
Why? Because we are creation-driven creatures. And so many of us thought, once I get that level, once I get that money, once I get the house, the follow, whatever it is, then that will be the magical pill. That will be the key to all my problems. That will be.
Yes.
It won't be. So I want everyone to understand it is about the journey. It really is. And I really learned this lesson the hard way. And I really thought it's about the outcome. I have been the outcome driven mindset for a long time, only to realize the eternal hunger is forever, and it gets more hungry and more hungry. Because it's from a place of lack and void. But when you just focus on the journey, focus on what you can do for yourself today and wake up tomorrow to do it all over again, this is it, guys. This is where you get that bliss, where you feel that fulfillment, where you can just lose yourself in front of a beautiful flower for you to realize for the first time just how perfect you are in this moment. And I don't know if I'm going to get that moment back again. But in that moment, when I see myself for the true beauty and the true nature of who I am, to love myself just for that moment is worth it. It's worth it. And then tomorrow we do it all over again.
So true. So true. I love that you shared that. We are so in alignment. That's what I teach in my evolution, my group called Evolution, is that there is nothing outside of us that can integrate with what is within us. And so you can't seek outside influences to heal what you can only heal. So we never, that if then, if I get this, then I'll feel good. If I get the money, then I'll feel valuable. If I get the house or the things or the husband or the life, then I will be worthy enough. Then I will be happy. If then never happens. You have to feel the thing first.
Oh yeah. And two things I want to say about that is it's so funny. The saddest thing is when you get the thing and then
it doesn't
fill up the void. And then you feel, oh, I am really screwed then. I thought this whole thing, and that's kind of kicked off my awakening, is my whole life I was working towards a goal, is to get into the firm and make a certain position. And, I wore beautiful outfits with my heels and walking into this beautiful building to work. And then I made it and I felt so empty. And I felt, this is it. This is my life. It can be. And then just shattered my reality because I spent the past how many decades working towards at this point. And when I get it, and now, and of course, it's a huge moment of, oh my gosh, that's a huge waste of my life. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what's my next goal. I don't know what I'm living for anymore. And then that kicked off my whole journey. And the second thing is, when we say you will not fill your inner void with the outer resource, it doesn't mean you have to be hyper independent, right? Again, humans, we are interdependent on each other. We are built that way and we're still going that way. That you don't have to be alone in this journey. Of course, you always hold the key to your fulfillment. At the same time, you can have a beautiful guide to help you along the way. You can have a beautiful healer to support you, to hold your hands and catch you when you shatter into a million pieces in that moment. But you got to decide if you're going to get that therapist for you, if you're going to get yourself in the mastermind yourself, if you're going to get that healer for you, you get to decide what resources you want to get for you. It's the same as I have two toddlers. I don't have to make my own bread for them, right? I can just go to the store and buy something for them, but I decide what I give to them because I listen to them. They tell me what they want, so I give it to them. But not everything comes from me. I can ask my in-laws, I can ask their friends, I can ask all these resources. So really what determines is your level of resourcefulness. You have to get resourceful for yourself, of saying, I might not know how to make this happen for me, but I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna get myself the support that I desire, period. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. So good. But the bottom line is you get to decide, and then it's up to you to allow the inner work and how it impacts you. Because our coaches, our spouses, our best friends, they can want all good things for us, all the best things, the exact things that we need. But if we can't receive it and allow it, it will never, never make the final difference that it needs to make and that it could make for us. So it's just such a intricate journey that we're on. And I think one of the things I just always thought was you're going to ever arrive someday, right? I'm going to finally get there.
Yeah.
I realize there isn't a there specifically. It's always a journey. It's an evolution of different phases. You get to one place and then you realize it's like climbing a mountaintop. And then you realize when you get to the top, there's thousands of other mountains out there. And
Yeah.
so it's never a one arrival, you get to different places. So thank you for going on this journey with me today and
Mm.
sharing all of your beautiful wisdom with our listeners and those that come across your path are meant to hear your words. But how can they find you on social media or on your website, or how can they work with you and find you?
I'm the most active in on Instagram. So
Okay,
if you can find me on Instagram, which my handle is Snow Grows, there is all my contents, all my offerings, and you can definitely dive deeper there.
fantastic. So I'll put all your links in the show notes, but is there anything in particular that you have coming out? So this will be coming live in April. So April, May, June, do you have anything special that you want to share that's coming out in the world that you're really excited about?
Oh, of course. I always have things coming out. I'm such like a creative creature, and
Yes.
I will bore to death if I don't funnel
Mm,
my creative energy into some creation. And I mostly do that for myself for many reasons. But
mhm.
I definitely have a major program coming out in May,
Okay.
and it's going to be all about our
So good.
power in our strength, and our power in our vulnerability, the power of your light, the power of your darkness. And if you haven't sensed, I am all about all inclusion. I don't push any part of us away. We're only going to strive for the higher stuff,
Mhm.
the lighter stuff, and we don't talk about feeling jealousy or despair or
Yeah.
control. I talk about everything because I love humans that much.
Yeah.
And
So
plus, I
good.
have two kids. I can't not to talk about anything. They show me what I need to work on all the time.
Right.
So I
Oh
have
my
a
gosh.
major program coming out in May that's
Okay.
gonna be all about power, and it's gonna be really, really juicy.
How exciting. Can't wait to see that. Now, you
Yay.
mentioned human design and gene keys. So, before we go, will you tell us what your human design is and what your gene keys are?
Okay. I'm a 2/4 manifesting generator with emotional authority.
Okay.
My Gene Keys life's work, the highest version of that is compassion. And my purpose from Gene Key is purity.
I love that.
And
So,
there's, of course, there's so much more, but I think those
yeah.
are the major things for anyone to understand.
So, if someone's looking for a specific human design type or gene key type, that they're aware of that and that's really important to them, I thought it was really important for them to know that up front,
Mm,
to hear that from you, because as a manifesting generator, you have such a gift to see
mm,
into opportunities. So I
mm-hmm.
love that. I love that. Love that. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being with me today. And
Thank you.
we'll be sure to share all of your exciting offerings that are coming up. And then when that new group or the new offering comes live, we can go back and add it to our notes. So make sure that I get those links so we can share them. And I'm just so excited to introduce you to my little circle of the world. And I just know that those that resonate with you will find you and that you have so much goodness to give. So thank you for the work that you do in the world and the tiny little humans that you are raising to be good men. And they're just going to go forth and do so many good things. I know they will.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen, so much. And it has absolutely my honor to be on your platform and talk about what really I dedicate my life to. This level of work of compassion and love is what I deeply believe is the reason why I went through so much suffering. It's the reason why I went through so many places of darkness so that I know exactly what's it like when a woman breaks down in front of me of saying she will never love again, I know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe we all chose our journey for our highest purpose in life. And I just want to express my deepest gratitude for you, Karen, for the work you do. And I deeply see your light. I deeply see your heart, your mission to bring this level of unconditional
Thank you.
self-love, confidence, self-clarity, and claim that in themselves for women in the workspace. And I just can't imagine the ripple effect of that. You know, like when women show up in their radiance, in their confidence, because not just they believe that, they embrace it, they celebrate it, and they become a beacon of this joy and just yummy feminine energy to be around. You know, we have all met some women who are just nourishing, who are just could be giggly and joking all the time, and they are just such a fun vibe to be around.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see your work contributing to that level of women empowerment on planet Earth. I mean, I am deeply in awe in your work as well.
Thank you.
Very much
Thank you.
so.
Thank you. When you said giggly and all that, I immediately thought of Shoshana because she's just so
Yes.
giggly. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So,
And the thing is, most people don't see she is not just a surfacey neighborly girl for you. The level of depth and the
oh my goodness.
strength
Yeah.
she has will rock your world. So
Yes.
don't mistake, you know, the surfacey softness with the inner strength that we have, which is what I cultivate in me and my children. Is most people walk around hard on the outside, but fragile on the inside. They're so defensive, they're easily triggered and offended, but fragile on the inside. But we are bringing this new movement of soft on the outside, but strong on the inside. We know who we are. We know what we're here to do. Yes, for sure.
So good. So good. Well, thank you. I love that. I love that. I just have such a picture of this like iceberg, right? Like it's just super strong and deep and just resilient. And, you know, there may be little pieces that melt off and, you know, the polar bears are out there and it's a soft, fluffy snow, but on the inside, it's just ice, right? It's just solid. So that was the picture that came to my mind when you said that, soft and welcoming on the outside, but just strong and resilient and knowing on the inside. So good. We can all learn from that and strive for that. That's such a great mantra. But I love the nuggets that you've dropped. Just so many golden nuggets today on the mic. So thank you for sharing that. And I will make sure that everybody gets to learn who you are, and we'll be sharing this on social media. So thank you. Thank you
so much.
Hold on with me and we will wrap up. So thanks for being on the Rock Movers today. Thanks for listening. And if you'll do us a favor, like this episode, go over to Instagram and like and follow Snow Gross. See the link in the show notes. And don't miss tapping into this woman. She is pure joy. Thanks for tuning in today on the Rock Movers. Thanks again for joining us for another amazing episode and interview with an amazing rock moving woman, Snow Gross. I know and trust that you got as much value and enjoyed this episode as much as we did recording it. Now, if you want to get in touch with Snow, you can find her over on Instagram is where she hangs out the most, at Snow Gross, SNOWGROSS. And be sure and check out the links in the show notes where you'll be able to find her link tree and all of the offers that she has now. You may notice that this episode looks a little different than others. It kind of slipped through the cracks, but it is still so valuable, and I'm so grateful to Snow for her time and for the information that she has just poured into this. Check her out, be sure to connect, and know that you are good and amazing just as you are.